As the industry evolves and technology shifts, ATVs that once made sense start to look a little less understandable. On the flip side, ATVs that were once somewhat confusing start to make a lot more sense. You're thinking, what the heck does that mean? And the best way for me to explain it is with an example, and the example I have today is Yamaha's Kodiak 700 EPS. But before we talk about the Kodiak, we need to talk about the Grizzly. Now, everybody knows the Grizzly's getting a little long in the tooth, pun intended, in its current configuration. Realistically, it's seen very little major change over the past decade. If you ask just about any Yamaha diehard what they want most, they'll say they want a bigger motor in the Grizzly. And Yamaha has a motor that would work perfect. What I'm getting at is that the 700 single no longer makes sense in the Grizzly. It needs new technology and more power to stay valid. But that same 700 single makes perfect sense in the Kodiak. It was meant to be one step down from the Grizzly on the totem pole. It was meant to be a cheaper yet fully capable alternative for people who don't need the full jam of the Grizz. When the Kodiak was first reintroduced, it was very budget conscious. It came only as a 450, it had very few features, not even a gauge, and it got largely overlooked because, while a decent deal, it just didn't provide enough of what even a deal-seeking ATVer really wanted. Now the Kodiak has taken its place as the official one-step-down model from the Grizzly. It's cheaper and doesn't have quite the same level specifications, but it's fully capable and has all the stuff any hardcore ATVer could want or need. Just to be clear, everyone here at Dirt Tracks loves and has always loved this 700 motor. It has such great character and it's so tough, especially when combined with Yamaha's near bulletproof Ultramatic transmission. This big single loves to chug and has impressive torque at low RPM, but it also revs surprisingly fast and pulls pretty hard at top end as well. The Kodiak is its own platform and boasts 7.6 and 9.1 inches of travel front and rear from its independent double wishbone setup with rear sway bar. With 11.8 inches of ground clearance, the Kodiak gives up very little to its bigger brother. I think one of the most interesting aspects of the Kodiak is how small it feels when you're sitting on it. I attribute this to how the rider seems to sit more on top of the vehicle rather than down in the middle of it. When you sit on the Kodiak, you feel like the majority of the vehicle is below you, with only the handlebars sticking out the top. This is very different from how it feels to sit on other brand ATVs, but with less bulk around you, the vehicle feels both smaller and lighter. Ergonomically, there's very little to complain about here. The seat is soft and is definitely comfortable to sit on. The floorboards provide excellent grip and the handlebars are in a very comfortable position. It all just fits. An incredibly smooth shifter, nice looking and very functional gauge, dual lever braking, and switchgear that, while not fancy in any way, works perfect, round out how the rider interfaces with the ATV and leaves us with very little to complain about. The Kodiak 700 comes in 3 flavors. There's the very stripped down base model that retails for a pretty impressive $69.99 US. Then there's the mid-level model that gets all the same mechanical features as the high-end model with less of the bling for $85.99 US, and then there's the full jam SE model that we have here. For $92.99 you get plastics painted in what I think is the nicest color on any ATV I've ever seen. Yamaha's on-command 3-way locking differential and slick-looking aluminum wheels. There's no question in my mind that the base model 700 Kodiak is a stellar value for a full-size big bore ATV. The mid-level model offers a significant increase in value over the base, and in my opinion offers the most usable performance for the money without any of the extra bling of the high-end model. But the EPS SE model definitely is the showstopper of the bunch, though real-world value over the mid-level model may be questionable for the average user. This next statement may be a little bit inflammatory, but I really think it needs to be said. The Kodiak 700 is the star of Yamaha's utility ATV lineup right now. It makes the most sense in terms of price versus performance and features. If nothing else, it will do a fine job of occupying the single-cylinder 700 big bore space currently held by the Grizzly. That is, if Yamaha ever decides to take the Grizz to the next level. Thanks for watching this segment of Dirt Tracks TV. For more great content, make sure you click the links or subscribe to our channel where we're always updating with new content every day throughout the week.